Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program is rated for all audiences.
Four Guys on Sports is sponsored by CrookedRiverRadio.com. Crooked River Radio is an internet radio station that is live 24/7 playing top 40 hits from the 60s through the 80s. You can find us on Live 365, Simple Radio, Roku, Radio Garden, and even Alexa, as well as our website. Come on and join us on the Crooked River.
Well, good morning.
Morning. Everybody else out here?
Good morning.
Well, look, we got the whole crew today. Oh, Shawn, how are you?
I'm here.
Welcome back. You made all that extra loot, man. I need some money.
Yeah, you should pay us for you not being here last week.
Sure.
With all that extra, especially your poor old defenseless father, who had to take all your sports stuff and log it for you so that we could keep up on everything. I get, guys, I get the feeling that he doesn't feel bad for me.
Well, I'm not saying it's sympathy.
You'll pay for that next time I see you, boy.
I haven't done that for a while.
Good.
Anyway, welcome to Four Guys on Sports. We are a show that airs every Saturday morning, more or less, from 11 to noon Eastern on Crooked River Radio. We're on Facebook Live. We're on, you name it, we're there. We're on Twitter. You can find us pretty much anywhere you can find your local podcast outlets. And today, we got quite a bit to talk about. I guess I'll take the host chair for this week. The first thing I want to start off with, I watched that Seattle game the other night. Where in the living name of God did they get those uniforms? Jesus H. Christ. I mean, really? Would you walk out onto a field looking like that, Nate?
Well, they got them out of the loser's can.
I'll take that as an answer.
Wow. I thought they were quite stylish.
Oh, stylish.
They certainly made a statement. If you're going to go down, might as well go down in flames. Oh, boy.
If you were on the other team, you'd have to really be careful, because if you insulted if you said anything about their ugly ass uniforms, you'd get your ass beat. It's a wonder they're not number one in the league.
That was good, maybe.
Yeah, it was pretty bad when Russell Wilson got hurt, though.
Yeah, that was awful, man. Ooh,
Yeah.
did you see it the way it looked, man?
Oh, man.
Yeah, neither one that blew his finger out. Ugh.
Ugh. It looked painful. He's manning up. He was being a man about it. I was like, okay, Blair.
For the last I read on Facebook, they're talking he's going to be 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
I could imagine. Anytime one of your parts, man, get knocked, and all crooked over to the side and like that, man, it's not good. I was like, man, I know inside he was crying. He was manning up on the field. But
I was just saying, man, I was just thinking, I said, I'm glad it wasn't me out there, man, because they may have had a picture of me crying.
Yeah. I could just picture that, too. Lil G crying.
Oh, man.
Man, he was manning up on the field, but man, you can't tell me, man, inside he wasn't, man, he was like an infant, man. I guarantee you.
Yeah, there's been some pretty gruesome stuff happening just over this last week's games. Week before last, Baker popped his arm out, or his arm out of socket. And
Seems like his game has improved since it's been popped around, though.
His passing was crap last week.
I mean, it's a step up. Look, is that the same? Was that the same arm that he used to grab his crotch with, man, out there on the?
Hey, Nate. I talked to Baker here a couple days ago, and trying to get it here. I got a quote from him. Hang on a second. Let me get it. Come on.
You are mean to me. You insult me and you don't appreciate anything that I do. You're always pushing me around or pushing me away.
Oh, yeah? Well, if I treated you so bad, how come you came back?
Because that's what friends do. They forgive each other.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
We forgive you, Baker. We just need you to perform, man.
You know, hey, man, they still got the W.
Yeah, and it was kind of a rough one. I don't know what they tried to say that arm wasn't bothering him.
It don't seem like it's bothering him, though, man.
But
he doesn't look bad.
His timing was completely off.
I don't see where that looks any different, though.
Was that what was the game against KC when he balled out?
The game they were supposed to win when he just didn't do quite enough.
Balled out. Yeah, somebody missed the block. Somebody couldn't hold their block long enough.
Man, he missed the throw, man. He missed the guy, man. They should have won that
somebody
game.
couldn't. He didn't know anyway. But no, that was not to me. Now, so far this season, and if you look at it, you go back and look at the games. You look at all the stats and everything. Yeah, that was his worst performance today this season. And
that was his best game.
It reminds you of last year when was it what was the last 10 games or 11 games he played well.
Against who?
That's how y'all got in the playoffs last year.
Oh man, heck, please, man. Come on, team was loaded. See, this is what gets me, man. Wow, man, I'm like, that team is loaded, man. I'm not rewarding, man, a team that's supposed to for underachieving. Man, Kansas City look like trash right now, and Cleveland should have won that team. They look the best against Cleveland. To me, that says something about Cleveland, man. I'm like, come on, they're underachieving right now. The team is loaded.
So what does that say? You talking about Cleveland's defense too, or what are you saying?
I'm talking about Cleveland doesn't. I'm talking about Cleveland they're underachieving to me all across the board, but particularly offensively, they're underachieving, man. That team is loaded. I don't understand, man, why they're not just blowing people off the field, man. I mean, they have a loaded running game. They have the offensive line it's another level. I don't understand, man, why Baker's completion rate, man, isn't just off the chart. He should look like Matthew Stafford look, man. Matthew's looking like a NPD, most valuable player candidate, man. And I'm thinking, how come Baker's not looking like that? Baker's got more talent, a better line. I'm like, come on, man.
I get what you said. I'm gonna say this: Baker's not there yet. Maybe he will be. You got to think about this: the maturation process of these players. If you look at Dak when he came in the league, they had that one great year, the rookie season, and then after that, his performance started to go down. Now it's on the uptick.
Yeah, but his team was down. He didn't have nothing to work with.
But no. For a while there, they still had one of the best offensive lines in football.
You had no running game. Zeke went to sleep for a couple of years.
Hey, when Zeke went to sleep, so to speak, Dak wasn't there.
Yeah, but he went to sleep, which contributed to Dak not being there. I mean, they both contribute to one another's demise. Well, Dak
again,
because he got hurt, but Zeke because he went to sleep.
Again, when you play a team a certain way, you scheme a certain way. When you bring 8, 9 guys up, I don't care who you put Derrick Henry back there. If you put 9 guys up there, he's not going to run the ball successfully. Now, in that year, last year, especially for the Cowboys, they had a lot of injuries across the board. They had offensive line. They had the quarterback. They had a lot of injuries. Now, it didn't explain why the defense played so horrible. But part of it is this. If as a team, when you look at Cleveland and you say, okay, what are we going to take away? We're going to take away your receiving core. Then they run all over the field. As a coach, what you do is you run the ball down their throat. Because you're dropping guys back in the coverage, you run the ball down their throat. You don't throw the ball into a well-covered secondary.
That ain't happening in Cleveland. I have not seen Baker. I'm not seeing Baker have problems where he's got cats all just covered. I've seen this guy underthrowing the ball 6 foot to a wide open guy by himself.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying, this was a bad game. But the KC game was not a bad game. He had about 3 or 4 passes he probably wished he could have had back. Now, when you look at that, and let's compare apples to apples. When I looked at Brady the other week up there in Foxborough, man, I saw Brady. Hey,
raining like crazy.
Brady's
raining like crazy.
Why?
It's raining like crazy. Cleveland, man, he was playing.
What's his name? Outplayed him though. He threw better than Brady. Brady's got more experience. Brady's used to playing in that.
Man, please. Nobody wants to play in nasty weather. I'm saying, I understand what you're saying, but there's anytime as a court, Brady, first of all, Brady wasn't getting a half hour to sit there to make a decision where to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. Baker has a more stout offensive line. He has a better receiver. I mean, it's ridiculous. He has a better cat second running ball. It is inexcusable to me, man. See, y'all think that because Cleveland has been bad for so long, until y'all just get happy with, okay, man, they made the playoffs. Wow, they made it to. No, okay. The team is stacked and loaded, man. The team is
Cleveland's real MVP right there. Myles Garrett.
Now,
he's a beast.
Yeah, but let me say this, Nate. Okay, you talk about the offensive line and cover. Okay, now against Dallas, Brady, what did he get? Three rushes. He didn't get knocked down. He didn't get touched. They have a great offensive line. They have one of the deepest receiving cores in all of football.
They have a decent offensive line.
They have a great offensive line. Brady don't get hit. You got to think about this. If he's not getting hit or sacked, what does that say about your offensive line?
Because what that says, though, is about your quarterback is he strikes fear to his opponent. You're not going to just keep rushing a guy that's ripping you apart like that. It ain't happening. I'm telling you. Their line is not as good as Cleveland. They're not as stout as Cleveland's line.
Maybe not. And maybe not as good as Cleveland, but they're very good. They're better than Dallas's, and Dallas has got a pretty good offensive line.
Pretty good.
They got one of the better offensive lines in football. And if you see them holes that them guys are making right now, that's the reason Zeke is running the way he's running.
Agreed.
Now, and they have the best. Tampa has the best run defense of all of football right now.
Had.
Against when he played up there, what was old boy had what net 1 yard, and he still outplayed Brady. So my point is this, and don't get me wrong, no, Baker's not a great quarterback, but the thing of it is this.
According to this right now, Tampa Bay's got the number 3 offensive line.
Number three, bruh.
That's just number 3. It's not number 1.
And
Now, number 3.
it's actually this. It's right now, according to before the season started, it was Cleveland number 1, New England number 2, and then Tampa number 3, and then Kansas number 4.
And New England's offensive line, it looked good, but they also the quarterback, Mac Jones. Oh my gosh. He looks like he's light years above his
So he's probably better than Brady, huh?
He may have the potential to be better than Brady under Belichick, under the coach. He may have the potential to be better. I know it's hard to see that with all them Super Bowls.
I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit when you said that.
He may have the potential, man. He may have the potential. I mean, did you think about that? He's a rookie, man. He's a rookie quarterback. And it was more than he made terrific throws. It was the poise, the composure that he showed out there on the field. Man, he showed such leadership as a young player. And he was really, obviously, I know he was an extension of the coach on that field. He just done an outstanding job. And you know what? Just imagine now, okay, just think about this. Imagine if Belichick would have had just a little more confidence in the rookie and allowed him to go for that on 4th down, of which I believe that they would have converted. I believe they would have won. They would have won. So I am amazed. I thought Mac Jones would be pretty good under Belichick, but I had no idea that he would be like that, like this. So he's not better than Brady right now, but he may have the potential to be better. But he is better than Baker Mayfield today.
I agree. Right now, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are better than Baker's middle of the road. He's middle of the road quarterback right now.
As a backup.
Now, my point is this though. Let's see what he becomes.
Who?
Baker. He's a better.
Hey, at least they're not losing.
We talking about a team. It's 3-1.
It's a team effort, bro.
We talking about a team that's 3-1. And
nobody hardly. You played. You beat the socks off of Chicago, who had forgot how to even play the game of football.
Well, Chicago came back this last week and beat the Sox of Detroit.
Yes, who actually came back down to earth. Detroit was playing outstanding football, came back down to earth.
They're the worst team in the NFL right now.
So I mean,
Now, let me say something I've said for quite a while. As far as quarterbacks go, I've seen time and time and time again, the last one being probably Baltimore. You can win a Super Bowl with mediocre quarterback. That's why I'm not too worried about this. The simple fact of it is, you look back in look at the last time, the first time that Baltimore won the Super Bowl. Who did they have quarterback in there?
Nothing. No, they had Trent Dilfer.
That's right. Come on, man.
Before that, what do you call it? Pittsburgh, with their 7 Super Bowl rings, won one with flipping Bubby Brister. Bubby flipping Brister. That's the worst quarterback I ever saw.
But you know what's amazing?
And they brought him to Cleveland, and it made him 10 times worse.
What's amazing, though, in that is that those quarterbacks on those occasions, first of all, that Baltimore team, Flacco got carried this last Super Bowl when they won that receiving core just done fantastic. fantastic job. And defensively, they were just all that. So they look good. But I will say this: a lot of these quarterbacks, outside of these really good quarterbacks like Brady, when they go in there and win, or the Patrick Mahomes, and then when they win, usually these quarterbacks, like you say, when they are typically a little average or slightly above, they usually have an anomaly type of a performance because we see it a lot. It's just like when old boy from when Philadelphia won. He had an anomaly type of performance. He had like a for example, when Ohio State won with Cordell Jones, he had an anomaly of performance. He had a heck of a run, and he done a great job. And where's he at now? So I'm saying, yeah, I understand that, but Baker at some point, he's not been billed he's been billed out as a really good quarterback, good to be great. And to me, he's not that. And that's the problem that I have. He was recruited,
it's still pretty new young for him. The simple fact of it, you look at some of the quarterbacks that have went to the Super Bowl in the past, and where they started out. They didn't do well the first 3, 4, 5 years they were in the league.
Clint Dilfer.
How did Garoppolo look?
What about Clint Dilfer? Come on, Clint Dilfer. Since Pat brought it up.
Clint Dilfer, yeah.
He was trash.
The other one, Flacco, was nothing to write home about either.
No, he wasn't.
You got even the Peyton boys, the Manning boys. They weren't nothing to write home about the first 4 or 5 years they were in there.
Great quarterback.
Okay, now help me with something though. Y'all not trying to say that Baker's better than Flacco.
I'm saying he's better than Dilfer.
You think so?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What has he done at any point in his career that would make you think
Absolutely. I'm looking on the run they made last year when first off this. Okay, this right here. Let's go with this. Okay. When he went on that run where he wasn't turning the ball over. First off, he's not turning the ball over. And if you got a guy and he can get you 120 yards a game, you hand the ball off. Don't throw the ball. That's common sense. You play for what? To win. And if you can win running the ball, that's what you do.
Damn right.
If you look at Dallas.
And that's the way it's supposed to be too.
If you look at Dallas, when Dallas runs the ball 20 or more times a game, they are like 41-2. They started throwing the ball, and yeah, Dak was accumulating a lot of yards, and they were losing games. If you go back and you look at the teams, most of the teams that lead in passing yards don't win Super Bowls.
But you have to be you can't be a one-dimensional team, and that's the problem. Cleveland, it's okay to defer, and Cleveland should take advantage of them studs they got running the ball. That's the point I'm making. But they also have
the league behind Derrick Henry right now.
Say that again. So they're running.
Chubb is number 2 in rushing behind Henry, but nobody's going to catch Henry the way he runs.
See, enough said. What else can you say? You got this really stout, running game. You got this really stout receiving core, and you have a really stout O-line. Okay.
Yeah, you got Chubb and Hunt. They're both top 18 right now.
That's what I'm saying. And to be honest, man, I love Chubb, but Hunt is the man. Hunt is more dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
To me, Hunt can create better. Chubb is kind of more like Elliott.
Yeah, it's kind of like Elliott and Pollard.
Yeah, kind of like Elliott and Pollard.
Situation.
But I think I like Hunt better than Pollard. Not even by a little bit, but by a whole lot.
Same amount of rushing yards.
Their stats are almost.
Yeah, but then you got to look at because Chubb, Chubb get a Chubb, to me Chubb doesn't Chubb get a little couple more doesn't he get more touches than Green?
It depends. But when you look at what his average, you know, and considering, how many times he touches the ball, and the thing about it is, with both of them, they're a lot like Dallas. Both of these guys can catch, and then Chubb, again, more like Zeke. Man, you talking about a guy that can block, and that says a lot.
Chubb and Zeke's numbers are almost similar in terms of
when you look at that. And then Chubb is better at those hard yards of between the tackles. Chubb like Zeke is okay. Look, we need these 3 yards right here. You give Zeke the ball, and Zeke runs between the tackles.
So let me ask you this: how does Baker stack up right now against Dak?
Okay, that wasn't the point that I was making a while ago. I said Dak is middle of the road.
But
I'm a bad boy.
But I'm saying we're looking at now because we're looking at the running game, and they have a similar running game, based on the stats. And so I was just trying to look at that now, and I'm looking at, so how is the what is the offset with the pass? So that's all.
Is averaging 6.8 yards per carry versus Hunt averaging 5.4.
Yeah. So now, and what I'm saying is this, Nate. No, he doesn't stack up. You can't. Dak is a top 5. Okay.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, and I understand all that, but here's the problem I have with it. Baker is an NFL quarterback that's paid like
he's not paid like that.
He's embraced, but he will be. But he will be.
If they win a Super Bowl, he will. If they get there, he will. If they go deep in the playoffs again, he will.
Whether he goes deep or not deep, he's going to be broke off. Cleveland has already endorsed him and embraced him, and they've given him the wheelhouse. So I mean, they're like, oh, he's the guy. Okay, which to me is a little premature, but okay. Fine.
So who should they have? Who do they have to replace him?
But that's the decisions they made. They could have made other going in other directions with draft picks. Cleveland have had opportunity to draft high for a few years.
Wait a minute. You was the guy that said they should have taken Saquon Barkley. You probably should have put him at quarterback too.
Well, I probably still wish they would have taken Saquon Barkley, but I know Saquon has been hurt, but maybe he wouldn't have been hurt if he was in Cleveland. But I know, hey, it's a heck of a bird.
Maybe he's been dropping back throwing passes, man.
You know what? He couldn't do no worse than Baker's doing right now. I'm like, come on. But I'm like, look, I'm not so sure.
Watch, Nate. There was some game. He's played great. He's played very well.
Hey, Nate probably take Braden Eaton over Baker right now.
Yeah.
I would have looked. For me, I'd take Dwayne Haskins over Baker.
He'd probably take Johnny Manziel.
He was one and the same. Johnny and Baker, that's the thing. All he is Johnny reincarnated.
Let's get on to
we're going to another subject because you don't have the proof of the pudding. When a guy doesn't turn the ball over and they can run the ball, you run the ball. The name of the game is to win games. If you win by 3 or if you win by 50, the name of the game is to win games. Now, with that being said, it doesn't matter how you get there so long as you get there.
All right, so let's talk about Ohio State.
Thumbs down on Baker.
C.J. Stroud had his best game last week. Talking about quarterbacks coming back. He had an excellent game. I think he was 17 to 23, 300-something yards and 5 touchdowns.
Ohio State has forced me to put the shirt on. That's all I can say.
They're starting to look good. That Travion Henderson, man, that dude is a beast.
Look, you know what I like about him? Ohio State not only have turned things around on the defensive side of the ball. But to your point, Stroud is looking like the guy he's been billed out to be.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't look good. He looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, though, that really, as a team, what really stood out to me. Ohio State blew them out, put them to bed real early, and let the other guys get a shot at playing.
Yeah.
Conversely, I watched Alabama play. Alabama, trying to blow the team out, left their starters in the entire game when they could have been out resting. But they want to give this effect that they're so dynamic, and this, what happened to my screen? Okay. And do all this, that, and the other, when technically speaking, if you look at the performance from last week, clearly Ohio State they probably had one of the strongest performances last week. I understand, albeit that Rutgers is not a number 15, not within the top 15. I do understand that, but still, they were a decent team. You've got familiarity on the coaching in the coaching ranks, which means that it's not as easy as it might appear to be, because you've got that dynamic there where someone kind of knows your schemes, and so you got to be able to coach through that. So, man, it was a heck of a ball game. Yeah, those guys, man. Yes, sir. I had the Ohio State shirt on, man.
I'm happy for him, and I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna pour a little bit of water on y'all's flame right here. I don't think Rutgers was a very worthy opponent. I think they are bottom of the barrel, so they did what they were supposed to do. And now that I can say they did what they were supposed to do in convincing fashion, but I'm not as impressed as you guys are.
The reason why I was so impressed, it was such a start. It's been such a stark contrast. I get it that they started straightening it out against Akron U. I get that. But to me, they carried it over. It was the defensive effort and the intensity that they brought to the game. It wasn't just the fact that they were able to score. It was what they did defensively. It was the opportunities where they typically would have screwed up and missed and allowed points to be put on the board, but they came through and they didn't do that.
They've gotten better since they did the changeover on the defensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
All right, let's mix this up. Let's mix between the NFL and college. What about Urban Myers?
Wow. What a shame, man.
You guys been following any of that mess? He got caught in a Columbus bar after that Cincinnati game, in a Columbus bar drinking with some young woman, and it looked like he was having an affair with her. And Urban, I don't know. It's led to stuff on Facebook that's been saying that he's going to be lucky to finish the year in Jacksonville. I've heard rumors that he's going to he's going back into college to coach in South Carolina. What's up with Urban?
Look, this is what gets me. Where do all these haters come from? Okay, granted, that ain't my flavor. So I ain't going out to the club. I ain't going clubbing. But I'm like this, man. I got one thing to say to Urban. He should have, when his haters came on talking about he need to apologize to the world, all this, that, and the other, he should have had the theme song going, and he should have had it playing "Shake It Fast." Show me what you're working with. Shake it fast. Because I'm like this, man. Look. No one really cares. Why are they creating a story? The only people care is Urban's wife and family. I think about this. Do you care that the chick was shaking it?
Agree. I could care less who he's seen with. He wasn't seen with my wife, so it doesn't matter.
I'm like, the only thing I want Urban to do is build a winning culture down there. I'm like, and to make it so bad, I'm like, man, how do everybody get so hypocritical, man? All the stuff we see, all the stuff you promote through TV, where you encourage this type of behavior, then you want to discourage it because the guy is coaching grown-up men who doing the same thing anyway. Man, come on, man. You know the NFL, man, the jokers is making it rain up in them clubs, man.
Yeah, but it's Urban
Yeah,
Meyer.
I'm like, I don't get it. So what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander. So the players can do it, but the coach can't do it. I'm like, come on, man. But here's the thing also that gets me on top of that is somewhere I thought, does Urban have an ownership stake in a club or in that club?
That I don't know. That would be interesting to find out. Because the pictures I saw of him, he looked completely out of place. There was a bunch of kids around him. He just looked like he looked like he was scared for his life. I will say, I watched that Cincinnati and Jacksonville game. That Jacksonville team has come a long way. They still got a ways to go. If they would have played with the intensity they did in the first half, they would have won that game. But they're going to have to learn how to finish.
Okay.
And I was really pretty impressed with the first half. But it always seems like these teams just, when they go into the locker room, they lose the steam.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes out, the momentum switch to the other side. And that's what I kind of saw there. He needs to start, if anything, what he's got going down there is starting to work. But what he needs to start stressing is you're going to be on that field for 60 minutes and you got to play like that. And the last quarter of that game was hard to watch it.
Yeah.
It worked for me though because I was pulling for Cincy. So.
Yeah, I knew Cincinnati was going to win, but it would have been nice to see Jacksonville win one.
Maybe against somebody else, not against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I was no way was I, I like Urban, but I definitely wasn't pulling for him in that.
Okay. Hey guys, I got another one here, another topic here. Football being the business that it is, and some of these trades that kind of caught us off guard, I think, most of us. Stephon Gilmore from the Patriots going to the Panthers. Who saw that coming? He's a dog, man, or was a dog. He's coming off injury too, but he's a dog. He was what number one cornerback last year.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
And to see the Patriots, who Belichick, that's what his staple is made off of, is defense anyway. He's a man that knows that. Look, how many times have we seen Brady go down and win in the last few seconds? Hey, only thing we need to do is just get enough points to get the win. And if we can slow these other teams down, we don't have to put a bunch of points on the board. So with that kind of shocked me.
And then Jalen Smith from the Cowboys.
Yeah. Then
released and going to Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. Following that, with the release of linebacker Jalen Smith, who I kind of understand why they did it or what they say. What was speculated is that because he got paid. And you're talking about Jalen Smith, one of the great stories of football, because when he was in college at Notre Dame, and having the type of potential career-ending injury that he had, and the Cowboys taking a chance on him, drafted him, he wasn't even healthy. They allowed him to come back, and he had some good seasons there, and he got paid. He got a good contract. And what Dallas did is they paid him and then let him go. He got 7.2, but the thinking is because he has an injury clause in his contract that if he was to come back next year, they would have to be on the hook for $9 million. And at the same time, he's not performing like he was playing. like he was before. And now they got Micah Parsons and
Jabril Cox.
Yeah, man. Dallas is linebacker rich right now. So, and not to say that he's still a good player, because he was still in rotation. He's still a good player, but he's not a per se great player anymore. But this is a guy who, and in Jerry Jones, what they always talk about is he has a tendency to hang on to players. He treats them like family, and is in order to compete at a high level, you can't do that. It's a business. So I was looking at that, and then there's some more trade rumors out there, even in Cleveland.
I was just looking at one here. They're talking about Houston's Brandon Cooks.
Yeah,
he's a wideout, and they're saying that Cleveland could bring him in fairly cheap.
Yeah, I think I heard it was a third rounder.
He'll be a free agent in 2022.
I heard one.
He's got 368 receiving yards so far this year. Wouldn't be bad to bring him in on top of Odell.
Yeah,
I heard one too, man. Trade rumor, man. They talk about bringing in Aaron for. No, but on the serious, I wonder if the Stephon Diggs situation came about because Belichick was a little bit disappointed that they lost the game, and maybe that was kind of a knee-jerk reaction. What you think? Because it came out of left field because they showed just the thing where he was, hoorah, the team, raising them up, leading the chants and all that, getting them hyped. And then all of a sudden, man.
Stephon Diggs or Gilmore?
Yeah.
Gilmore with New England?
Yeah.
Well, same thing happened in Dallas.
But did they have all those hoorah speeches?
Wait a minute. Even better. I'm sorry, I cut you off here. I'm sorry. Jalen Smith, McCarthy had just named him team captain. Defensive captain. And
what are they doing with that? What is that, man?
Well, part of that is this. I don't think, or it seems like, it makes you wonder, does, with Jerry being GM, does he even talk to the coach? It just makes you think. It makes you wonder. The head coach names you defensive captain, and then you get called in by your GM, who happens to be the owner, and says, "Hey, we're letting you go. We're gonna give you the $7.2 million now." So he wasn't real upset when they let him go, but and he got picked up by another contender in Green Bay, which Green Bay needs linebackers. Green Bay is hurting. Green Bay's defense is not. They
were good enough to beat the Stuckers.
Yeah, but I think that Green Bay is
Roethlisberger's.
They have where their holes are is on defense.
Since we talk about these teams that have been fortunate now and that have been gifted, talented players because of, somebody looking out for their bottom line or whatever the case may be. I'm just thinking, when you look at Cleveland now, being serious now, okay, let's make the assumption that Baker is hurt, and he could potentially be hurt. Understand that he's trying to make a tackle, and that's not really what he's supposed to be doing. That's not his job. His job is to be a football player first. I got it. But you got Cam Newton out there, man. Don't Cleveland need a backup quarterback at least?
They got Case Keenum.
Okay, case in point. You just made my point. So you like Case Keenum better than Cam Newton?
They're both
You got
second
better than Baker
stringers.
Mayfield?
I mean, even if you say Baker's the guy, no. Even if you say Baker's, no. Assuming Baker's the guy, he's younger. You're gonna leave Baker there.
Yeah.
But Baker hurt right now, man. Okay, if Baker's hurt right now, we got to go with what Baker doing like this. Dancing on one leg, because we got Case Keenum. I'm like Cam Newton right there.
And I don't know, Nate. That's the thing where I thought Dallas would have made a run for Cam Newton, and he's out of football. It's not like you've got to really pay him, I don't think.
That's the thing.
And the thing of it is this. One of the things about Cam Newton, now I still think this with all my heart, is that these guys are staying away from these guys who won't get vaccination.
But Cleveland. Now keep in mind, Cleveland is primarily a Republican place, so they shouldn't care
so
much
is
about
Texas. So is Texas.
So since when do they care about the shot?
But
just to interject here,
but Jerry Jones says, "Look, all my players are getting shot."
Cleveland supposedly is at 95% on as far as the team goes with the shot. On the other side of that, though, Ohio itself is just they said that it's just a couple of days ago they said the total shots in Ohio is at the rate is at about 51%.
See, that's poor.
Yeah, everybody in Ohio still walking around white beaters and Trump hat backwards, man.
But and to each their own on that. To each their own, man.
I'm just playing.
I'm not.
You're on a roll today.
I know. I just playing. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep my political.
I mean, it's okay, but I don't care who you vote for. I was just saying it was a good joke. I mean, it was a good joke, man. You gotta admit, man.
Okay.
You have to look back before even when Baker came along here. You had 2 or 3 quarterbacks. Newton was one that they were looking at. The other one was Kirk Cousins. Neither one of those players is any more than a flipping second string quarterback anymore. You just gotta, as far as Cleveland picking either one of them, they had a chance before, and they'll probably have a chance again. And I wouldn't go for either one of them. I'll stick with Baker before I go any other than that.
I'm talking about as a backup, though.
I'm talking about as a backup with him hurt.
Well, even so, neither one of them were worth a crap, and eventually you're going to have to put one of them in. To be honest, I'd go with
Keenum.
I'd go with Keenum than I would the other one.
It's all about scheme too. So
I guess, something to be said for scheme, but in that, if you look at it and you look at players like, because I still think with Cam, there's a little tread on the tires. I don't think he's going to be a starting quarterback again. But when you look at that and you think about James Winston, for instance, and you see him come out and play, and then you see him go back to, well, part of it is they do have a problem with what's the name, Thomas down there in New Orleans. He's just not happy. He was a great receiver, but he's just not happy.
That's another one of the rumors going around too. I was reading Cleveland on too, is Thomas to Cleveland.
Another stud.
Are they okay? Are they going to trade somebody for him, or they just? I mean, what are they doing?
I don't know. He's not happy, and he wants out. But I don't know if his contract.
The perfect trade would be Njoku for Thomas.
Cleveland has been cleaning up roster space. They've released, in fact, a couple of days ago, they released somebody. And so there is room there.
But what part of what they're doing is they're making room for something, but also in that, teams have to look at their future when you have guys like, you're bringing in this young talent, and they're balling. We got with like Dallas, Diggs, man, that boy he's playing at a different level.
He's on fire.
Next to Myles Garrett right now, as far as a defensive player, if I'm picking a team, he's gonna be my second pick. And Micah Parsons is just behind him. So with all that, you know, you gotta make room, because at some point you're gonna have contracts coming up. You got offensive linemen you gotta pay. You got.
I think Diggs is, and the last 10 games, Diggs has got 8 interceptions.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's insane. Now, to say that though, and also in this, and because I am a Dallas Cowboy fan, but Dallas has such a favorable schedule. They have a very favorable schedule, and it just so happens that look at where they're playing at. You know, look at the teams in their division. Washington football
be undefeated, man. I mean,
the Giants,
how tight that game
the
was.
Eagles. You know, you look at those teams, and don't get me wrong, because you still got, you know, out there on the fringes, you got to play teams like Green Bay and oh shoot, who else is over there? Matter of fact, they're going to play Arizona this year. You know, it's some teams that they got to play, you know, and right now, Kyler Murray, that kid is balling, man.
Yeah, he balling, but the team as a whole right now they're not really so impressive, to be honest.
To me, I'm looking at their schedule too, and you know, at this point, we're what 5 games into the season or whatever it is, 4 to 5 games in, and you may have played one impressive opponent or two. You know, Dallas has got 2 games that, you know, were the good test games, and it was the first one, and then was the Chargers. You know, but at the same time, that being said, you know, I said before, and I could see it happening. Man, I'd love to see Dallas and Cleveland in the Super Bowl. You know, now I don't, you know, ain't no guarantees, but that's a bold statement. I'm coming out there. I'm making a statement off of what I think right now and what I see right now.
I'll be honest, man, right? To be given, you know, for real, on a more serious note, if Baker's hobbling around, Cleveland may take an L here soon, because I have no confidence in Keenan.
All right, so let's have confidence in doing our picks this week.
Before we do that, real quick, NBA preseason.
Oh yeah.
I watched part of the Lakers game. Got interrupted last night. Had something going on. But to me, wow, I am shockingly disappointed in what I see. LeBron James, he really looks like year 19. That team, I'm not impressed. Not even a teeny little bit. They look awful, man. To say the least, they look awful to me. But on the other side, I watched a little bit of the Brooklyn game. And I am highly impressed. That team, my goodness. How much talent do you need on one team? Mm-hmm. It's like when these executives get in a rhythm, they're like players. You know, player get in a rhythm, he can't miss. Execs get in a rhythm and they can't miss on talent. And that's what it looks like up in Brooklyn. It's like everything that comes in can ball. Mm-hmm. And in Cleveland, everything that comes in look like it, man, needs a wheelchair, man. A rocking chair, excuse me.
That kid that drafted this year has been looking pretty good so far. Evan Mobley.
Actually, I meant to say the Lakers. Everything looks like a rocking chair. But I was curious to know if you guys have looked. I know it's preseason and we're in the thick of things. Football just getting started, but and baseball's kind of boring this year. But
especially if you live in Dallas.
Before we get into the picks for the week, I did forget to give you one, Sean, and that was the Thursday night game. Nate and I, in our infinite wisdom, took the, or Gordon and I actually, in our infinite wisdom, took the Rams, and Nate took the Seahawks, and their ugly, putrid-looking uniforms.
Are you sure I took the Seahawks?
I have it written down, yes.
And the thing about it is, Pat was on the fence because he was like, I can't believe Russell will lose 2 games in a row.
Games in a row, yeah, that's what he said.
And I was like, I just got this feeling about it.
What's that?
And it wasn't, you know, it was just.
See, it's right there. I wrote it down.
And yeah, man, I was like, wow, I got that one right. And I think Pat was glad once he saw what Seattle was wearing. He was glad.
Oh, you got it. You got that right.
He was on the fence, and I kind of talked to him.
I would have picked the Rams just because of the uniforms.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the picks here.
All right, let me get started here.
Oh, Matty keep playing like he playing right now. My God. Woo.
And anybody following this, since Sean was off last week, we'll give him a week to catch everything up, and we'll have our total scores for the league probably
next. So we're going to start
Saturday.
off with the Jets at Atlanta.
Dang, can we just bypass that? Man?
Jets at Atlanta. Stink versus stink. I don't know. Should I flip a coin for who I'm going to pick on that one?
Well, you know,
they're playing in Atlanta. Maybe Atlanta wins.
Consider now, come on now, keep in mind now, Washington got lucky and won that game.
And then the Jets beat Tennessee.
Yeah, they beat Tennessee, but they're playing Atlanta at Atlanta. I'm going to just go with the home team. I'm taking Atlanta.
It might be a tie.
Maybe neither team shows up.
Yeah, good.
So what are you gonna go with, Nate?
I'm going with Hot Atlanta, boy, because they really should have beat Washington, man. It was a luck.
Yeah.
I'll take Atlanta too. I do have a thing just in here. The Browns have activated linebacker Anthony Walker Jr. from injured reserve. The team also signed a defensive end, Joe Jackson, to the practice squad, and elevated to him to the active roster. The club also elevated Javante Mafat to the active roster.
Okay. Yeah, just backups basically.
Yeah, they're replacing injuries.
Mm-hmm. All right, the next game is Green Bay at Cincinnati.
Oh my goodness!
And they playing Cincinnati. What is Cincinnati's defense like this year?
They're just
mediocre. They're mediocre.
They're mediocre, but they've just barely beat the Minnesota and what they just barely beat Jacksonville. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay on this one.
Yeah, as much as I like Joe Burrow, man, and they got a great record this year, I gotta go with Green Bay.
Yeah.
The one thing that cracked me up is the night after that Cincinnati game, or the day after, morning after, somebody from Cincinnati got on Twitter, and who's gonna beat these? Who's gonna beat this team? Who's gonna beat it? Neither one of those damn teams played worth a crap.
Yeah, all right.
I gotta
So,
tell.
what
I
do you
gotta
think,
take.
Jordan?
Who are you taking, Pat?
That was what, Green Bay, and
Yeah, Green Bay at Cincinnati.
watching Cincinnati has still got several issues, offensively and defensively both. The offense-wise, they still don't have any protection for Burrow. I think being what Green Bay is, I think they're gonna come in and give them a whooping. But we'll see what happens. I'll take Green Bay.
I'm
Yeah,
taking Green
I'm
Bay.
taking Green Bay, but I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be a close game because, to be honest, Green Bay still has some issues too.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they do. But I'm taking Green Bay just because Aaron Rodgers is the two Aarons. Aaron Jones, man. I was looking at it, and man, he makes a lot of plays out the backfield on passes.
All right. So the next game is Detroit at Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota on that one.
Don't you wonder what Detroit team will show up? Will it be the one that played Cincinnati or the one that played the first 3 games of the season? Because the one that played the first 3 games of the season, actually, man, would probably beat Minnesota.
Detroit's 0-4 and Minnesota's 1-3.
Wow.
Detroit's 0-4. Yeah, they did get beat by Baltimore.
On that last second 66
Man,
yards.
Detroit is so bad, man. They gotta win a game, and this will be the one. I'm gonna take Detroit.
All right.
I'm taking Detroit too, because Detroit has been playing. They've been playing fantastic outside of their loss to Cincy, and I think Justin Fields, man, he had a lot to prove. He wanted to redeem himself. Young man got some pride. He came out there and balled out, and he got him. So I'm going with Detroit.
Okay, where are you going with that?
I'll take Minnesota.
Detroit's been playing great ball. They've not been able to do enough.
And close is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades.
There you go.
I hear you.
All right, the next game is Denver at Pittsburgh.
I'm
Pittsburgh
taking
still have a
Pittsburgh.
team? Do they still play football in Pittsburgh?
From what I heard, their quarterback's in a wheelchair.
Oh Lord!
Yeah, both quarterbacks are not doing good. I think Bridgewater got knocked out of that game last week.
Is he gonna be back?
Yeah.
Pat, did you have something to say about Pittsburgh? Any comments?
Is Ben playing? Is Ben back? Is Ben playing?
Yeah.
Is he wounded?
Yeah. The Statue of Liberty. Pat, I thought you had a comment.
Hey, Dad, you know how you played that the other day? Justine kind of ran out the room there.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was so waiting for that. I would have been disappointed if you hadn't played that.
There, that'll take care of it till next week.
I feel better now.
Oh, I'm glad.
I don't feel the same way you do, but I just love it. It's just
I think I'm with this game. It's going to be too close for comfort on this one.
So is the quarterback? So is Broncos quarterback going to be playing or what?
I don't know. And then their backup is Drew Lock. So
I don't know anything about Drew Lock. But
Drew Lock ain't bad.
Bridgewater, I would have thought, they may squeak out something because Teddy Bridgewater has been he wins games.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a great quarterback, nothing flashy, nothing stands out, but he does get wins. But yeah, I'm definitely taking Pittsburgh.
If Bridgewater plays, or even if there's a backup quarterback, I'm thinking I'm going to take Denver. Just because, not because I just dislike Pittsburgh, which everybody knows I do, but when you take and put a second or a backup quarterback in, especially one that's not very well known, your chances of the other team losing are a little bit better odds, just because,
because they
they
have a
don't know
game
the
plan.
quarterback and they don't know what to prepare for. So I'll take Denver either way.
Yeah, I'm going Pitt. Just by a field goal. All right. What are you taking, Nate?
Well, I was trying to find out if Bridgewater was going to be playing.
Yeah.
He was a full participant in Friday's practice.
Oh, okay.
So I think I'm rolling with Denver, man.
Okay.
Oh, 2-2.
All right.
Me and Shawn, and then Nate and Pat.
All right. Next game is Miami at Tampa Bay. Tampa.
That's an easy one. Just put everybody. We don't even need to say anything.
I think everybody's gonna take Tampa on that.
Yeah. Tampa Bay, Dad.
Yeah, I guess so. And Gordon, here's another one for you.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Pittsburgh!
Hey, Shawn, now you wrote that down, TB. Does that stand for Tom Brady or Tampa Bay?
I don't know. It's Tampa Brady. All right. New Orleans at Washington. This is now a toss-up.
This is going to be a tough one there.
Well, let me ask you this: does lightning strike twice? Same place twice?
I think Washington wins by defense against.
I'm taking Washington and just so Nate can feel a little better about himself.
It depends on which New Orleans shows up.
Jekyll and Hyde, the Jekyll and Hyde team, goes along with the quarterback right now.
I do like Washington's quarterback, man. I like his moxie, man.
Now, all I heard was what a great defense Washington's going to have. I've yet to see.
Yeah, I've yet to see.
Play
I
great.
Yeah, they
Saints defense isn't bad. It's just that their offense is just bad.
So, who are you guys going with?
I got Washington.
Okay,
I'll take Washington, I guess.
Okay.
That's a tough pick.
What about you, Nate, dog?
Go with the home team, boss.
Of course, then again, Washington's a West Coast team. We know how I feel about that.
Washington.
Yeah, man, this thing's stressful there, man. Go for Washington, man. I mean, you just don't know. They got lucky last week, so hopefully they can get lucky again this week too.
All right, the next game then coming up is Philly at Carolina.
I'm going with Philly.
Ooh. So that's going to be
that
mean Carolina going to lose 2 in a row, right?
You heard it here first.
Philly's a decent team. This ain't a good team. Carolina had been balling, man. Until they came against Dallas.
Yeah, you're gonna hear that about a lot of teams when they face Dallas.
Yeah, well, Philly doesn't have that great running back core like Dallas does. The only thing that's good for them is Hurts.
Hurts, yeah. And when Hurts is not doing his thing, then they hurt him.
But they're now with that Carolina. They're playing at Carolina. So
they're playing at Carolina.
So Carolina,
and their defense could really hinder him. And as we saw, so I'm going way out on a limb on that. I'm
going with Carolina. Carolina ain't losing 2 games in a row.
All right. What about you, Dad?
I'll take Carolina. Another tough pick.
I think Carolina's going to win, but I'm taking Philly just because.
All right. Next game is Tennessee at Jacksonville.
We all know how I feel
How
about
about the Jaguars?
well, we all know how I feel about Tennessee. I'll take them.
Okay.
It's going to be a whole lot of rump shaking going on.
Oh yeah. So who you think?
I'm taking Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Oh boy.
Oh, Lord have mercy, man.
You taking Tennessee there, rump shaker?
It'll probably be some people, man, who's tailgating, having some rump roast.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I gotta go. I go with Tennessee, man.
Okay.
Jaguars, man, got all them distractions right now.
All right. Next game, New England at Houston.
I'm going with New England, man. They riding high, boy. Got the new Tom Brady, the new and improved Pete Brady up in the
I'm gonna go with New England by a field goal on that one.
I'm taking New England.
Yeah, I'll take New England.
All right. The next game then is Chicago at Vegas.
Vegas all the way, baby.
Vegas, baby. Vegas.
It's a hard pick now with this new Chicago team.
Man.
With this new look, man. Got that inspired head coach.
I'm going Vegas on that one.
Yeah, I gotta go with Vegas. I would like to see Chicago win, but I gotta go with Vegas, man.
Okay.
What the hell it is, man.
All right. The next game is Cleveland at the Chargers.
Who you got, Nate? That's what I want to hear.
Lord have mercy.
That's a good test.
It should be Cleveland by 20.
It's
The Chargers?
I think it's gonna be that's a battle.
With the Chargers, Nate? Come on.
Yeah. If they just had somebody who could throw the ball,
Man.
But
Chargers. Is he not realize Chargers?
But because they ain't got that their QB stuff is questionable, man.
Who else has Chargers beaten?
It don't matter.
What's the Chargers record?
Kansas City.
Cleveland got better team, better talent.
What's the Chargers record?
Cleveland.
Chargers record, I think it's 2-2.
Keep in mind, Kansas City didn't beat Cleveland.
Hold on, let me look at that. I think it's actually 3-1, but
I think they're 3-1.
Yeah, Kansas City didn't beat Cleveland.
Yeah, Chargers are 3-1. They just beat Vegas. They've beaten Vegas and Kansas City.
And they playing.
Well, I may surprise you guys. I got to think this through a minute.
Yeah, let's come back to that one, man.
I'm going to go ahead, put me down for... I want to go with Cleveland. My heart wants to go with Cleveland, but I'm a little scared on this one. And after the performance Baker had, this last performance was pretty bad. I don't know how healthy he is. I'm going to go with the Chargers on this.
Look like the rest of the performances. If I go across the board and I just look at talent versus talent, I'd say Cleveland. But when I look at the quarterback, man, I have to say Chargers.
Let me inject something here. I've always said that East Coast teams always have problems with West Coast teams. That's it. That's just in the fiber and the structure of the game. And this is why I'm having a tough time deciding if I want to go with my heart or if I want to go with the statistics. And
okay, let's see some.
You got Herbert going against Cleveland's defense. Cleveland's defense is top 5 right now, so
it may knock Herbert out the game.
I don't think Cleveland's going to win, but I'll take Cleveland anyway by 3.
Hey, hold on for a second.
It's going to be a close game.
Wait a minute, listen to this. Wait a minute, listen to this. Listen to this. And look, maybe, I hope this is not some garbage I'm looking up. Injury report. Browns rule 2 players out. There's 10 questionable versus Chargers. Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney,
That's BS.
Dredrick Wales Jr. among those considered questionable for Sunday's game in Los Angeles.
Jedrick Wills may or may not play. Myles Garrett was pretty much 100% from what I heard. And Clowney is okay. They're just going by what they got up a little beat up the last week. But as the only one that I know that would probably be questionable or probably not play is Wills, because he racked his leg up or his knee up pretty well.
Garrett to be there. He's a dog, man. He's a dog.
You ain't taking Myles Garrett out.
Do y'all think that's fake news?
Yeah, that's fake. They're just wanting to mislead everybody.
Well, with the fake news.
All right, so
You did that pretty well, Nate or Gordon.
I'm going to
Jeez Louise.
by a point on that.
You know, I'm pulling for Cleveland.
I think it's going to be
Pulling for
defensive
Cleveland,
now.
but I'm going for I'm going for
Chargers.
Chargers.
I can't bet against my dogs.
Who you got, Sean?
I got
Man,
Cleveland
forget
by a
this,
point.
man. Forget this, man. I like Cleveland too much, man. I'm going for Cleveland.
All
Eagles
right.
better win, man. If
It's
they
gonna be a
don't,
close.
win,
I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
if they don't, I'm going and I'm going to have every stat from that game on here, and I'm gonna rip Baker a new book.
All right, so let's move on to the next game. The Giants at Dallas.
This is a tough one, man.
Dallas.
Well, it's so tough. Maybe they'll bring back Big Head, the old quarterback, the one that got a head like a bastard tomcat.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I was listening. I had some kind of distraction going on.
Eli. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say
So
that.
what is this? This is Dallas, the new
Giants
Dallas
and the-
Cowboys, the new look Dallas Cowboys versus the Giants. So is it Dallas by what? Dallas by 14? By 21? What is it?
I'm not by 21, but if I think Dallas will beat them by 2 scores.
Two
I'm
touchdowns?
going to say 10 points.
Yeah, I'm thinking at least 10 points. So I'm going with Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Okay, so
take
just
Dallas.
Yeah, taking Dallas. But just for the sake of having fun here, okay, so you saying by 2 scores? You saying by 2 touchdowns or by a
I'm
field
saying
goal?
10 points, maybe 10
10
points.
points. You saying by 10, too, Sean? Is
Yeah.
that what you said too? What you got, Pat? By what?
I'd probably go with the other two, 10.
I'm a
All right.
little bold. Dallas by at least 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
You got to consider, Nate, when you say that, a lot of times garbage time, when these teams are sitting back in zone and giving them 10-yard chunks, anything could happen.
We've got some good games coming up here. The next game, San Fran at Arizona.
Oh, forget it, man.
I think this is going to be a good test for Kyler Murray. But they're
Well,
playing in
keep in
Arizona.
mind-
so.
Keep in mind who's not playing for San Fran, and San Fran is weak. They have nothing else. But I will say this. Old boy came out there, backup quarter came out there and let you know he could still play. He's
Well,
like, hey, don't sleep on me now. I still got a little game.
Well, my thing is this, and I was looking at them, and when Garoppolo went down, and I don't think there's much difference between them two. So I'm going to go ahead, and they're playing Arizona, but I think it's just time for Arizona to lose one. I think Arizona's a little bit.
San Fran been kind of losing. Didn't they just lose? They just lost, right?
Yeah, but I think what's the name is I don't know if Arizona is a fluke or not, or if they real. So I'm going to go with San Fran, although they playing in Arizona. If they were playing in San Fran, I'd definitely take San Francisco over there.
Man, I'm going Arizona.
Yeah, put me down for that too.
Yeah, put me down for Arizona, actually, man. Hey, look, I got a family emergency, guys, and I am real sorry. I got something going on. I thought that they were going to be able to handle it, but I'm gonna have to bounce off. I got an emergency situation to have to deal with.
Okay. We got two quick picks. Buffalo at Kansas City.
KC. No defense, KC.
You're going San Fran in that basket.
Yeah.
I'm going Buffalo.
They got Josh Gordon back, man. I mean, they got Josh Gordon, man.
Practice squad still.
We talking about practice.
I'll take KC. Man, that I like both
They have
teams.
no defense. That's the biggest problem.
I like both teams.
And they don't run the ball. I don't know what it is, but Andy Reid's never been big on pounding the football. So,
Kim, put me down for Buffalo.
Okay, you gonna go Buffalo?
Yeah.
All right. It's on the call. All right.
yeah, it's on the call. We'll go to the next one. If he comes back, if he can, he will, but he's muted and everything.
All right. The next, and then the Monday night football game is Indianapolis at Baltimore.
Go with Baltimore.
I'm gonna go Baltimore on that one.
Yeah, I'm taking Baltimore on that one.
I hate the Ratbirds. All right, let's just do. I'll take Baltimore.
Yeah, I hear you. I hate to, but
All right, now let me go to the Thursday night game. Thursday night game, Tampa Bay at Philadelphia.
put me down for Tampa Bay. Put Nate down for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, put me down for Tampa Bay too.
Put everybody down for Tampa Bay. If Philly wins, we all lost that weekend because nobody.
I'm thinking they would probably have been taking Baltimore.
Yeah, I think
they probably would have taken either KC or Buffalo.
I don't know.
Text him. Text him later.
Yeah.
All right. That pretty much wraps the picks up, huh?
Yep.
All right, let's roll on out of here, as they say. The picks are in. We'll know next week where we all stand. You can total them up there, Mr. Shawn. I will probably be on another sports show Monday morning. That's Hash, Eggs, and Football. Airs at 11 a.m. It's kind of a armchair quarterback thing. So we will go ahead and let everybody close it up here, and we will see you all next week. You guys have a grand week, and Shawn, stay in touch.
Okay.
Let me know what you're doing. Have a good one, everybody. And
all right.
As soon as I get to the line here. Yeah, there it is. Have a good one. We're out of here. This has been a Crooked River Media production.